Real Radio.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition. It's Florida Talk Real Estate. Not just a usual Saturday morning. As it was pointed out to me very eloquently this morning, a day like today only comes around every 250 years, y'all. I think that's the best you can put it. America, good morning, and thank you for being with us. Florida Talk Real Estate, we are live on this Saturday. Celebratory mode, but of course, we'll be giving you lots of information. Thanks for being out there. 92.1-1017. We appreciate you. If you are tuning in on a Saturday, a holiday like today, that's amazing. Maybe you're live streaming. And if you are, thank you very much, because there's a lot of effort being put into that live stream for you every Saturday morning. Florida Talk Real Estate on Facebook, Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube there. That's home of a ton of informational chunk videos. And maybe you have that free download, the iHeartRadio app. If you do, we're worldwide. Pretty big time, by the way. Doesn't get much more big time than 250 on the big time. Big time. You know what I'm saying? You can't put it much more big time than that. Johnny C, that's me. Hi, your old buddy, your old pal. Let's get a phone number here so you can get involved. There's so much going on right now. I wish you could see. 877-927-6969. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation. Questions, comments, concerns in the world of real estate. Celebrating with us. 250 today. Dial in. First voice you hear, melodious tones of our producer extraordinaire. There's my brother from another mother. Timothy, what's up, dude?
Hello, and good morning, gentlemen. Happy to be here, and happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, dude. What'd you get her?
Some freedom.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sprinkled it all over.
A little dash over there. Dash over there. Good.
I don't usually do this, but I won't be too much of a downer. One of the guys from the fire department that I was with passed away yesterday.
Oh.
And I just wanted a little shout out to Buzzy. Gonna miss you, pal. Outside of that, happy birthday, America.
Yeah, that's brutal, huh? I have a lot of memories with Buzzy, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sure Buzzy would be ripping it up today for sure.
Yeah, he will. He's up there.
Yeah, yeah, letting it loose.
Yeah.
Buzzy, we'll be thinking about you, dude. And you too, Timothy, and all your boys.
Thank you.
Thank you for all that you do. And of course, Johnny C, that's me, your old buddy, your old pal. The music ran out, but there's Mike Rao. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Very important person. And if you even knew what kind of effort he was putting in this morning, you'd be like, wow, Mike, you're impressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like that much effort.
Well, hey, you know what? When you're that good, it doesn't feel like effort.
What I do is I come in and I just fine tune after it's all done.
That's sweet.
You know, just a little adjustment here.
Nice.
But look how you're perfectly centered now.
I can't see.
Yeah. Trust me then.
Nice.
Take my word for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really
happy birthday, America. Happy 4th of July.
Very nice. And thanks for being here.
Well, thank you.
Nice to see you. Great to see Roscoe Marinets. By the way, if you are not live streaming with us, you should be live streaming with us, because it is great to see Roscoe Marinets with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. Dude, you look fantastic always today.
America.
Cheers to you, buddy.
America.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
Good to see you as always.
You too. It's good to be here.
You know it.
It's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen you guys in forever.
I do feel kind of that way too. That's why when you opened the door and you looked the way you did, and I was like, man,
that's why.
And you're like, it only happens every 250 years. I was like, Ross, you're my spirit animal in so many ways. I love you immensely. And it's great to see you on a Saturday.
You too.
Go.
Please.
No, I was telling Ross, like, I was thinking at last minute, I was like, oh, I should probably wear something. And I went through my closet. I really don't have anything that's obviously American flag, you know.
Right. Me neither. Right. Everything I own is.
And then I come in here and I'm thinking about it, and then I see Ross.
Jokes.
And
comedy.
Ross's whole outfit, including his underwear, probably. is
what underwear?
Red, white, and blue.
The blue.
Red, white, blue, and brown.
I kept a brown stripe.
I don't think I own a lot of attire.
Yeah.
I have things with the flag like kind of on it, but
yeah.
I've
got a t-shirt that has like the American flag and a buffalo or bison on it. That's probably the closest. I do have things that I would consider like American, like style, you know, like
Americana.
Yeah, like the long sleeve fishing shirt with the, you know, flag on the front and a gun on the back or something like that.
Let's go.
You know.
Yeah.
I
love that.
I've always loved the flag. Like back even when I was, 12 and I used to speed skate like competitively. You could airbrush your skates, and I had my speed skates airbrushed into like a red, white, and blue.
Dude, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Did you ever have like Olympic dreams? Because you were like cut
this
for that.
it was on quads, so they didn't have
inline.
No, pre-inline.
Oh,
pre-inline.
So you were speed skating on regular roller skates.
Roller skates.
Yes.
Yeah. And they had the wide set.
Yeah. And then it went to inline, and it wasn't in the Olympics at the time.
Yeah, no,
but,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Is that where you got your nickname, Hot Ross?
Yep. That's right.
That's right.
Followed me from age 12. Yeah.
It's where we picked it up.
Did you ever think about branching off into roller derby?
Like I thought that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I thought that would be pretty fun, as a kid, but you weren't introduced to it. It wasn't around. You'd see it like once in a while, but it wasn't something you could go check out.
Yeah, kid me sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm 51 and I'm like, I don't know if that sounds great. Yeah.
Now that I'm looking at Ross, like with the headband on, right, you could have been maybe you wanted to be an American gladiator.
Yes.
That might have been something you aspired to.
Oh, that would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. Except I watched that special. It didn't look like that.
It didn't look like they had a great time.
Yeah.
It was a little brutal. I'm thinking I probably have the most "Don't Tread on Me" stuff than anything.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
That could have worked today.
It probably would have worked.
It's
really
a Declaration
well
of Independence.
It is, right? Yeah, I should have wore it. Anyway, let's say good morning to our fearless leader. 14 plus years now, I have told you, he runs a top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovations. There's Jimmy D. Jim DePaula, thanks for all your efforts always, and good morning on this birthday for our wonderful nation.
Yes, I just found out by asking everybody. I didn't ask you, Johnny, but I kind of already know the answer. I'm the only one that actually kind of really remembers
1776.
kind of the 200 year, the bicentennial. I was in either the 8th grade or the 9th grade when that went. So it was kind of interesting, just trying to compare how people felt back then compared to now, and kind of weird because in the bicentennial, we had just gotten over Watergate, a big controversy with the president. We just got out of Vietnam. Fall of Saigon was about 12 months before the anniversary. A lot of stuff going on, but everybody still pulled together for the bicentennial. You didn't see a lot of, I don't like you, you don't like me kind of stuff. We all just kind of got together. I hope that happens today.
Yeah.
I would like to see
probably more than not.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, there's always outliers. I mean,
I just saw a
they're called
clip.
extremists.
There was I guess it's Dazed and Confused, the movie.
Oh yeah.
Love it.
There was a clip as they're leaving, because that
was right around that
breaks at summertime, and it was that year because the teacher, who's like a younger woman teacher, is like, hey, remember what you guys are celebrating this summer? That a bunch of old white guys wanted to not pay taxes, and it was like so, and put me back to 1776. Yeah, there would have been like kind of a progressive liberal women's movement, going on in 1976.
In 1976, yeah.
So there would have been some, what you would consider, left radicals today happening.
Sure.
At the 200.
Just fast forward and same but different, right?
A little bit more of the same, same but different.
Yeah.
Have we made progress, Jim?
I don't know.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
In so many ways. And in so many others, you're like, we should have done a little bit better than that. Very young country. Oh, 250?
Yeah.
Super young.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah. We have to keep that in mind.
Yeah, we're babies.
Yeah.
Yeah. This experiment's still in the early stages.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is based as Americans being consumers. And that all started like in the 50s.
Yeah. That's the evolution of the experiment. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really been the 50s, 60 years ago. It's been 60 years ago that we really became the powerhouse for real. And I know that that was all based on kicking butt in World War II and helping everybody else out in Europe. But it's really interesting, and hopefully have another really great next 250.
Yeah,
right?
seriously.
Yeah.
And I hope weather really cooperates today too across the nation for so many of these celebrations that are planned. I know extreme heat is kind of planned, and that's if between the two, the heat's not going to ruin the celebration, might make it a little more lethargic.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful in the heat, obviously. Hydrate yourselves. I don't need to be preaching to anybody in Florida, but if you're listening anywhere else and you're not used to it, like a lot of World Cuppers coming in, man, it could be tough for those folks.
Even the players.
Yeah, seriously. But as long as the the lightning and the rain stays away. It should be really
Is that who's headlining in DC today? Is Extreme Heat?
Extreme
Extreme
Heat.
Heat, yeah.
They got top billing.
That's right.
I watched that presidential thing at the Mount Rushmore yesterday, and I was very blessed that my parents took me and my sister across country when we were young kids twice.
Cool.
So I've been in 37 states by car, which was really great experience because you got to see all different types of cultures and accents and everything else.
Did you get out and spend time in all 37?
Absolutely.
Or did you just, because I count the ones I've just driven through. You know what I mean? I still count them. I'm like, I was there.
Yeah.
We stopped at the gas station, I'm sure.
True. Good point. I mean, I did get out the car.
You visited.
Yeah. Peed probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we stopped and did everything. We did the family truckster vacation thing one time, which was
amazing.
awesome.
That is.
But I remember being at Mount Rushmore, right? When I was a kid, probably 9 or something. But I wasn't there at night. And when I saw the event yesterday and they had the lights on the faces of Mount Rushmore, it almost looked like 3D to me. I mean, I know it's 3D because it's a mountain and everything, but with the lights hitting it, it was really amazing looking at that. It almost looked like a hologram or something to me.
Yeah.
It was
It
pretty
is 3D.
wild. I knew you were going to say that. I said, I know it's 3D, but it looked like more like a hologram to me.
It looked fake.
That lighting was amazing. And it was like, I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Beautiful, huh?
And it was really amazing. Yeah, it was really amazing. There was another statue that they were making out there. I think it was in South Dakota also.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Crazy Horse.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they're still building it. I was 9 out there and they thought it was going to be done in 10 years.
I'm glad you brought it up because I was like, the very little mentioned Crazy Horse.
Yeah, and it's really amazing because it's gigantic. I mean,
I think it's also that's been like a passion project, labor
for the
of
family.
Love.
Yeah, the family. And I don't think they ever took government money. It's all donations from people that go there. At least that's the way it used to be.
Right.
And
that's
but
cool.
it's still, I mean,
if they can get government money, they should get that government money.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't
say no.
Yeah, and the family's just been doing it forever. And I think they lost some people in the construction and stuff. It was pretty crazy.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, but happy South Florida and happy America today.
Nice. We do some daytime fireworks maybe if you want.
Yeah.
If you're interested.
Yeah.
Just it's entirely up to you. That's throwback real radio right there.
Yeah, I was warning Mike. Mike always has been a big fireworks guy, so I think I sent a message to him saying, "Don't blow yourself up today, Mike."
If you want, if you want later in the show, we can Jimothy can get them all ready, and we can send like Mike out in the parking lot and check them out. He can tell us how they look. We can hear them in here, but we can't see them.
We'll film it or record it.
You can go out and record it. Yeah, you can bring one of the cameras that are live streaming.
Oh,
and go out and like take everybody with you for the daytime fireworks and show them what it looks like. We can hear it, but you can go see it.
I figured you don't have any fireworks on your big board.
Oh, he's already sent them off. Nobody can even see those, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
A little early. There go all the dogs running around now. Dogs are cowering in fear.
Do your dogs get worried about the fireworks?
My mom's dog, who we have because she's in Iowa. So yeah, Bella has trouble with the banging, the popping.
It's there's a lot of people nodding their heads right now because there's a lot of puppers out there that are going to struggle and have depending on where you live. Like I'm a little more out west. You probably heard it a lot, Mike.
Yeah,
I've heard it ramping up over the last few days.
Yeah.
When we have fireworks at the house, she's like, "But what about the dogs?" I'm like,
I don't know what to tell you.
If we don't do it, you don't. Everyone else is doing it out in locks and the acreage. Like, there's going to be lots of fireworks.
Yeah, those poor things. Are you a fan of medicating them, possibly if need be?
I've never had to medicate the dogs. Did you medicate your dogs?
No. Does that make me cruel?
In my experience, CBD can be very helpful for them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just calms.
So you're not talking about like veterans, like a prescription, like doctor's orders. You're just
You can get CBD like in a.
Yeah.
You can just walk into somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, and your puppy will appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Interesting.
Don't get it high. I'm not telling you to get it high.
No.
CBD is non-psychoactive.
Don't hotbox your
Well,
dog.
I mean, hey, to each their own. You know what I mean? Mine. I think mine was DEA before we got him.
Boy, that turned quick.
Hey,
Does that date me?
Well, we were little. We had a buddy who had a pug, and we put him in an igloo, and we blow into the water spout.
Wow.
Oh, when you opened up that little pug, his eyes were just like stereotypically red. He was like, "You gotta close that lid." Man, I ain't done yet.
Let me light us some off.
Dude, it got to the point where like you got going, he would run up and he'd like nudge you. He'd go over to the cooler, like you're like, "Oh, he clearly likes this." Right?
Well, either that or maybe you were under the influence also.
Oh,
You're like, the pug's talking to us, guys.
Think we better.
Just want to go through a couple of shout outs and a couple little news bites. The first thing I want to do before the shout outs, there was a company called MV Realty a few years ago that was doing this crazy thing that I was like, how is this even legal? And then we all found out that it wasn't.
Too good to be true.
Yeah, MV Realty was trying to do this deal during the boom, right around the COVID time, where they said, "Hey, sign up with us now to list your property when you're ready to sell. When you're ready to sell, even if it's years from now, but sign the listing agreement right now. We'll give you cash for signing the contract, and then later, when you're ready to sell it, you have to come back to us to sell the property."
I remember this a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, and I was like,
we were a little skeptical of how they're doing it.
yeah, and I was like, there's regulation when you take a residential listing. You're not allowed to take the listing more than 1 year. Right. That's it. You're not allowed to do a year and a day. And it was always considered against regulations in the state. I'm like, how are they getting away with this? Well, they didn't. They got caught. Right. So anyway, they have to pay a $3 million fine. There's a $3 million judgment, which I think is pretty paltry. But I don't know how popular this program was.
Yeah, like how many
people were silly enough to go for this one. But anyway, there is a $3 million judgment out there. And if you are one of the victims, part of the class action lawsuit, you should call up the lawyers for that. Just Google it and see if you can get your money back or get some of your money back.
Nice.
I wouldn't say money back because they gave you money.
I was going to say you had to give them money, but I thought they were giving you money.
Yeah, they were giving you money, but somehow they're supposedly,
if you can prove some kind of damages.
Yeah. Maybe it's for the people that actually, because it was a TV thing in Tampa and it was only a minute long, so I didn't have a lot of information. And it just popped up on my phone like right before we got online, so I didn't do any research. But anyway, if you were part of that MV Realty scam,
look into it.
Yeah, and if you don't want to get scammed, call us. Right, we promise we won't scam you.
And it could be like if you're looking for solutions, either tapping into your equity or have some sort of trouble. If you're getting options from one channel and one channel only, and everyone else is kind of like, hey, we don't really have a good option for you, or whatever it is, you might want to think about what's going on.
Right.
Exactly.
Why aren't you being solicited by many options?
Right. I don't have a lot of options open to me. Let me choose the best one.
Right.
I only got this one.
Right.
Seems kind of
feels weird, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about it when it was going on.
Right.
We were telling people this smells like a scam, blah blah blah. So anyway, if you think you got scammed, go check that out from MV Realty and find out.
Interesting.
Okay. Wanted to do 2 shout outs right away. There was a guy in Port St. Lucie named Daryl. I have no idea who the last name is, but he had a friend who lives in.
I think he has a brother named Daryl.
Yeah, he has a brother named Daryl too.
I heard about that
guy.
And one of his good friends, they needed to sell a house and then maybe buy something else, and they're in kind of a. When you're a seller buyer, it always gets a little complicated. So this one was extra complicated. I don't want to get into it on the air. But Daryl had talked to the friend and said, you got to call Jim from the radio show and find out if he can help you because he's trustworthy and blah, blah, blah. She didn't know me from Adam, Loretta. Loretta called me, met her with her house twice now. We spent over 4 hours going over everything. That's how complicated her situation is. And I just want to say thank you, Daryl, whoever you are, because I don't have his last name yet, for referring us out. The radio show listeners, this is the second time this year that happened.
I think you know what I'm thinking is the other brother, Daryl.
Yeah, maybe the other brother.
It could have been Larry.
I'm sorry.
I could have been Larry. And then that happened to me earlier this year. There was a person named Steve or Steven who has a significant other, and they needed to sell a house, and they said, you really should call Jim. And I ended up doing that deal. And thank you for these strangers that are referring us out because they just listened to the show.
That's awesome.
It's like, you should call those radio show guys. They'll help you out. And it isn't just about me. You know, if you have questions on refis or mortgages or reverse mortgages or insurance deals, you know, we're here for all that, even legal. We're here for, you know, anything that we could help you out with. We point you in the right directions, even contractors. We help people with contractors. So
I say it all the time. You can change lives, including your very own, with the pros of FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
Yes. So thank you so much. Referrals are the lifeblood of this show. So anytime that you could do that, it's awesome. And thank you so much. I just want to do some really quick shout outs. And then I want to go into maybe what I call a shout out teachable moment. I want to go over a couple of properties that we have on the market. We just put, thank you, Paul. We just put his house, a townhome, a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath townhome in West Palm Beach. This is an awesome walkable community. It's centrally located. It's just a few blocks away from Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard. So you're close to 95, close to the Turnpike, close to downtown and the beaches. Really affordable 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath home. It's nicely upgraded, only $250,000, which is a very good deal.
Wow.
We priced this house correctly. Some of these houses are going as high as, let's say, $315,000, $320,000. This one's only at $250,000 because I kind of bracket the homes to find out where they fit within that community as far as upgrades. And this is a medium upgrade home, so there's plenty of room. If you buy the unit and you want to change something in the house, there's room there and you won't be upside down. So this is a really good opportunity. HOA is not too bad. I think it's $500 a month. No assessments coming. Roofs are good. So if you're looking for an affordable home, that is a really great opportunity for people. Give me a call.
Sounds like
we still have on the market 125 Carlton up in Hutchinson Island. We have not been able to find a buyer for this yet. This is such an affordable opportunity for people who want the retirement lifestyle on the water in a great waterfront community area. $195,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. Really great opportunity for somebody. And they have dockage available for boats, for rental or purchase in that area. And really, really great area. If you love eating seafood and just going to restaurants or making new friends at the watering holes, because there's several over there.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really great opportunity. So $195,000. How can you beat the Florida retirement lifestyle on the water for under $200,000? No assessments coming because they've dealt with the concrete restoration in this building. HOA is low. So please, if you're looking for that type of lifestyle, maybe you're going to buy down and slow things down, or you're listening to us from some other state and go, I'd love to move to Florida, but everything's so dang expensive. This is a great opportunity to get something. Or if you just want a place where you want to crash here during the season and then bundle it up and then go home and not think about it till you come back down again.
Yeah.
Really great opportunity. So please give me a call on that.
That's a spot, an area that I visited many times.
Yes.
Family lived there forever. And I always love that you can do pretty much everything you need without having to go OTB, as they used to say. Over the bridge.
Yeah, over the bridge. Yeah,
I don't got to go OTB.
Man, when I go up there and I drive over that bridge to go see the property and everything,
I love driving that bridge.
I just feel like you're on vacation. As soon as you start getting on that bridge and you're starting to head east, it's just like you see these waterfront views everywhere. You see all the boats, all the people running around doing beach stuff, and it's like, man, I want to be on vacation right now.
Oh yeah,
right. It's just an awesome place. So, really good fishing from what I hear from Johnny too. So. Give us a call, and your neighbors are like multi-million-dollar homes, like a mile and a half away. So really great area. Also, we have a piece of land that's an abandoned historic restaurant with a 8-unit motel.
This the one in Okeechobee?
Yeah, the
This
one
is
in
our Porky's,
Okeechobee.
Jimothy.
Yeah,
This is our
the Porky's.
Nice.
This could be so many opportunities. You could tear down everything and start over.
Yeah.
But
Or-
you also could. It's so close to the boat ramp, and the boat ramp takes you to the channel lock, which gets you into Lake Okeechobee. Literally, once you get into your boat, it probably is like 4 minutes to get into Lake Okeechobee with the channel lock, and just a really
So they
great
can just come
opportunity.
right off the lake, right into our
Just
Porky's.
straight there.
I don't know
There's
if we
like,
should call it Porky's.
I don't
but
even
it's
know if that
Porky's.
canal to the channel lock is a football field length. I mean,
Huh.
it's that close, right? So anybody looking for that country lifestyle that doesn't want to be on the east part of South Florida and they want that bass fishing, bass boat lifestyle, more rodeos than going to the beach, right? That kind of stuff. You got to check out this property. Only $500,000 for the whole parcel of land. And there's actually 2 parcels. There's another parcel that's connected to it where you could build 3 residential properties on it. So if you bought it and you actually built the spec homes there, you'd probably make a good chunk of the money for the purchase that you did for the whole land coalition, if you will. So
how does someone look at that, Jim? What's the address?
Actually, it's 9700 Southwest Connors Highway. But the best way to look at this is Chris is going to be coming on, Chris Peterson, new business partner and team member on my team. He is revamping our website, and it's getting better every day, guys. So you guys should go check out floridatalkrealestate.com. And we do have all the properties that we have listed right now.
Sweet.
Are on there. We don't have that many, so I'm looking for new business. I think we only have 4 or 5 listings right now. We're usually carrying 8 to 10. So we're short on listings. So please, because we sell them. So please give us a call, and we'll see how we can help you too. Also, we have 6115 Nolia Court. It's a beautiful 3-bedroom, 2-bath CBS home with a 2-car garage, huge backyard, 2023 roof, super nicely upgraded. We almost got it in a contract in 4 days, but I had to deal with the crazy mortgage broker. So we decided that we didn't want to continue with the offer at that point. The mortgage broker was a deal killer, Mike, and it was really crazy.
Wow.
And also a shout out to Ross. Ross, I gave this crazy mortgage broker your number. She is in production a lot, and she's looking for a full-time insurance company to work with. She loved that Ross gives us insurance quotes for every listing we have, and we put it up on the listing. And I can't thank you enough for that, Ross, because it's such a big help, not only to us, but to the mortgage broker and the buyers to help budget exactly what it's going to cost to move into that house instead of estimating what they think the insurance costs are going to be. And highly recommend any realtor or any mortgage broker that's thinking that they need something like that. It's like, hey, I want to have insurance quotes on all my listings. Call Ross. It's so easy. We have a system. It's set it and forget it, and really great information. So
I love the system. Just send Ross the address.
yeah, that's the system. And then magically the same day we get the information.
I don't know how it happens.
It's
but
like,
it's
I
awesome.
don't know. It's just kind of
Sounds like someone's got a system.
Super easy.
So I'm curious, how did this mortgage person,
this
you had a
is-
little rapport because you're recommending insurance stuff.
Yeah. So what happened was the realtor and the mortgage broker weren't getting along with each other very well. So I decided and they asked for a very big seller concession, which was really going to screw up the deal financially. So we had to figure out how to fix it. So they were using FHA. So I was thinking maybe they could use down payment assistance, but they can't because they own a property in Kentucky. So they couldn't use down payment assistance.
Relocating from?
They're relocating,
Okay.
and the person's already working down here.
Okay.
That's a big question mark or warning sign that if you know what you're doing, you have to make sure that they're going to be approved for the loan if they're getting a new job down here.
Yeah, you kind of when you're relocating, the question from the mortgage perspective is your income staying the same? Is it like, are you keeping the same job? Are you transferring? Are you starting over with a new job? And then how does that impact
And
your
a new
ability
career
to
could be a new career, and that would affect, right?
Sure.
So what happened is I asked all those questions that all look legit. The mortgage broker seemed to be on top of her game. I explained to why we couldn't accept that offer and countered to the best I could and said, you got to go back and sharpen your pencils. She called me back later that day and she goes, I worked it all out. We reduced the amount of seller concessions we need, which was going to work for my seller. I was all happy for them. I really wanted that to happen. And then we didn't get a call back the next morning because they said they would call. So I waited until late morning, early afternoon. I call up the agent. I'm like, hey, when are you going to be turning the offer? Yeah, we're not. The mortgage broker thinks that the house isn't going to appraise. And I'm like, what? Now, they just did a refi recently, so I'm not too worried about it, right? Because we have an idea. And I'm like, what? And they go, yeah, the mortgage broker says don't turn in the offer. And I'm like, the mortgage broker is telling the buyers what to do, right? And this is what the buyer's agent had warned me
Based
about.
on what they think it might appraise for?
Right. So then they said,
refied.
look, we'll turn in the offer, but if the house doesn't appraise, then we want you to reconfigure everything. And I was like, you know what? We've got several showings scheduled. Come back to us and the agent told me they had looked at like 30 something houses and they turned in like 5 offers and the mortgage broker kept killing the deal.
Well, they may have lost money one or more times on appraisals. Like,
nope.
Greg,
Nope.
And they're coming in at like a little bit higher offer amount and then asking for a seller concession.
Nope, they didn't do that because
well, higher than they wanted to.
Yeah, and the family supposedly loved the house. That's why I felt like they were motivated, but they weren't that motivated.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was a really complete mess. But I never had a mortgage broker I've never heard of mortgage brokers in the whole time I've been doing this, where the mortgage broker is telling people, don't turn in an offer on that house. I have a problem with it. And according to the realtor, that wasn't the only time that the mortgage broker did that, for other reasons too, not just worried about appraisal, right?
Okay.
They were worried about insurance and all that. And then when I gave them the insurance quotes from Ross, the reason why they wanted to go to Ross, which I hope they still do because she is in production, but it was that your quotes, Ross, were better than the quotes she was getting and the mortgage broker was getting. So anyway, really great opportunity for this house and almost on a half acre. It's a really great walkable neighborhood. It's close to everything up in Port St. Lucie. Really good opportunity. 435. Come out and check it out.
Very nice.
Also, let's see. We have Desmond. Desmond just signed a buyer's agreement with Chris. Chris and his significant other have kids that are in, I always forget if it's UCF, but I'm pretty sure it's UCF. They got kids in Orlando that are going to college up there. So Chris and his significant other went up there a couple months ago, found a property, bought it, have the kids living in there. I think there's 2 sons. And then they had another roommate come in, so they're helping with the rent. And all the kids are paying rent, and the family bought a home for college purposes. And then when the kids are gone, they'll probably, sell the property later. Really good, really good thing to do. Kids in Gainesville, when I was growing up, the parents did that a lot. They would buy a unit for the 4 years for the kids to live there, and then they'd sell it when they were done. That's what Chris did with his situation. So Desmond has college kids moving up to UCF too. So Chris signed an agreement with Desmond this week. He's going to be going up there because he knows the area so well of what all the communities that would be good for this. And they're going up there and going to go find a house in just a couple of weeks. Cool. I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
I'm going to be going to Orlando too soon because
Disney?
No. But that would be my sister. My sister's a Disney fanatic. But I'm going up there because Paul, thank you so much. We helped them sell a house in Port St. Lucie a while back. And now he has to sell his mom's home in Dunellen. So I'm going to be going up to Dunellen, which is in Orlando. But I'm going up to Dunellen to meet with them, to go look at the house and get that thing on the market when they're ready. And then I'm going to be stopping by Brian's house because I helped Brian last year buy a house in Dunellen. He's a retired PBSO and firefighter. So he's a sheriff's deputy and a firefighter. And I'm going to go up and stop by and say hello to him and see his spread and what he's done with it since he bought it a year ago. And then I'm probably going to swing around to Orlando to meet with Roberto. Roberto sold a house down here about a year and a half. We're waiting for his credit score to get better, and then he's going to go buy a new construction home up there. I've already picked out 5 communities for him, so it's going to be pick your color, pick your price. But we're waiting him to get qualified for the loan. I'm going to go help him with that also.
When you go to Denellen, go down the Rainbow River.
I will.
We were just there 3 weekends ago.
Well, let's talk about that right
so
now.
Good. When we were in line there at KP Hole getting ready to do the river, we're looking at a bunch of these homes. We're like, man, those are sweet homes. I start thinking in my head, I'm like, what do you think the house is worth? And I had a number in my head, and I was way wrong.
Was it way high or low?
Way lower than I thought.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's like 6. We started looking at properties while we're sitting there waiting to get in, and it's 600,000, 700,000 for these sweet spots on the river.
Wow, on the river,
man, just beautiful, nice plots of land. But I know it's not booming economically through Denellen, but beautiful.
It's becoming much more popular though. Denellen is still a little slow. It was really hot during COVID, but it's starting. Ocala, because that's by Denellen.
So Denellen's more like in the armpit. Denellen's like above Spring Hill, like above Tampa. Like it's a little bit more, I would call that more West Coast than
that's
Central.
Not Orlando?
More north and west.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that when I was up there. I remember Ocala being very close to it.
So Ocala
is northeast.
Yeah. Ocala's
northeast of Denellen?
Northeast of Denellen.
Huh. Okay. Yeah.
Denellen's like north of Tampa.
Sense. Yeah, it's like north of Spring Hill even.
Wow. I don't remember being Tampa being that close when I was up there, because I went up there like 3 or 4 times. But you mentioned Rainbow Springs. I wanted to mention today, we always talk about creepy critters and everything. Just be careful out there. We had 3 alligator attacks in 1 week.
Yeah, so there was somebody attacked on Rainbow River like a week after we were there.
I think it was the scuba diver or the fishing kid.
Yeah.
So a scuba diver got chomped on, but he survived and didn't have life-threatening injuries.
Fortunately.
Snorkeler, not a scuba diver, snorkeler. And then there was a kid fishing, and then he got bit while he was fishing with his dad. But then there was the horrible attack where the woman died, and that was horrible.
Lost
she was
both her arms, too.
She was a California, like hiker, like just really into outdoors activities. She came here on vacation with her boyfriend, and they both went into the water about knee deep. I guess she was washing her hands or something like that in the water, and she got attacked. They think it was either a 12-foot or a 13-foot gator, which are gigantic.
Yep.
Compared to the other attacks, which were 8-foot gators for the other 2 attacks.
Those are a little more survivable. 13 gets a hold of you.
It's a huge difference in their overall body.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that boyfriend was able somehow to get the alligator to make it let go of her, which I don't know if you've ever, I've been at the St. Augustine alligator farm and the alligator farms down in Miami. And when you learn about their jaw strength and everything, and when they're locked in, it's like a pit bull or way worse than a pit bull.
Oh, yeah.
But he was able to get it unattached, but they just couldn't get her to the hospital fast enough. God bless them.
Terrible story.
Terrible story. So
but
just
the reality
careful.
is when you're in the water, they're there.
Yeah.
If you don't realize that yet, it's a sad reality that some people learn the hard way. But even if you know it,
yeah, there's nothing you do. It's
sometimes,
just like, yeah. And supposedly it's mating season, so they're thinking that's why we've had so many bites. And the other thing is that we have a drought. We have a drought, and they're thinking that because the water's lower, they might be more aggressive because there's less water for all the gators to be in. So anyway, those are just theories.
Don't let that keep you from going down the Rainbow River while you're in Denellen. Just do it. KP Hole is where you want to dump in. Reserve it ahead of time because they only have 300 tubes. And if you don't reserve it ahead of time, you just show up thinking you're going, you're not going to get a tube.
Oh, they have a limit.
It's 300 a day, and you have to reserve it ahead of time. Wow. That's why I'm telling you right now, book it now for when you're in Denellen. It's like a 4-hour run down the river, and you'll be like, that was worth it.
Can you bring your own tube?
You cannot.
Oh,
not dumping in a KP Hole.
Oh,
I've only done.
If you know somebody that lives there, you sure can.
I've only done Itchnatuckney,
which we
awesome.
We like more than Rainbow River.
Ichnatukey
is our favorite so far. The the head springs are all kind of the same in a way. Itchinatucky's head spring has a lot of force coming out of it though, which is amazing. When you try to swim into it, like you can't get to the hole. The hole at Rainbow River, there's several of them, and you can't quite. They rope it off to where you can't get to where the holes are, so you don't feel that pressure coming out of the earth.
Yeah,
it's so good though.
Yeah,
it's so good.
That's awesome.
You all over that place, Ross?
I've never been. I mean, actually, I've been to the park, Rainbow River Park.
For some reason, I can just see you just on your paddleboard up and down all these rivers, just for some reason.
Like a year or so ago, me and my buddy went camping and mountain biking just around the corner from the park. It was like 10 minutes away, and we went to go paddleboard to this spring that was in the middle of nowhere, and you could only get to it by paddling. And we get there, it's like a 4-mile paddle. We get there, and there's an airboat there, and the guy's like, "Hey, you might want to move your boards. I'm about to leave." Okay, cool. We move our boards. He leaves. We jump in the water, and all of a sudden we hear like more boats coming up. What's going on? It's in the middle of nowhere. Right. We go up, and the airboats had blown our paddle boards into the woods and completely destroyed them. And the guy who did it had to load us up on his board or on his airboat and give us a ride 4 miles back to. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Blew them into the cypress knobs. They were all bent and bangled and holes in them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good thing he stuck around.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. You're like, hey.
Yeah, we were heard everything. We looked on the beach, we couldn't see our boards. We're like, what's going on? Did somebody steal our boards? Yeah. And then we walked a little further. No, they were just blown and stuck in the trees and in the woods.
Crazy.
Yeah. I feel like there's some sort of new sport that could be you get the paddle boards and the airboat together somehow.
Oh, this is something being added to the Florida games for sure.
Yeah,
yeah.
You have to reverse.
They called that the Florida Man Olympics.
Florida Man Olympics.
Yeah. Stand on it, get behind it, maybe get pushed by it.
Nice,
right? The airboats.
I like the way you're working.
Yeah.
Last shout out is kind of a teachable moment, so I just want to go over this. Shout out to Victor and Tiffany. I'm meeting with them today. We had talked 2 weeks ago before I went on vacation and set the appointment for today. They're thinking about it's time for them to sell their townhome and then buy a new home. So they want to sell their townhome in the West Palm area and then buy a new home in a actual single family home in Royal Palm Beach, Wellington. But they are the typical seller buyer. I say that fast because they need the money from the sale of the house in order to buy the new home, which is always a chicken and the egg thing. I've been dealing with Mike and Mariella, who are trying to do the same thing, but their situation is very complex. So we haven't pulled the trigger on that because they still have some moving parts before they're ready. And you know me, I'm not one to pressure people to do something. I'm there to help them with what they want to do. So today we're going to be meeting and coming up with a plan. And step 2, there's a few steps in the process. I'm not telling you what step 1 is until the end. But step 2 was to get them over to Mike so that they can know their numbers. So Mike, you talked to Victor and Tiffany about 2 weeks ago because we've had the map approval for a little bit now, the mortgage app approval.
Yeah. It was one of those where they're definitely going to have a lot of moving parts, and they got to know for sure that we can get it done. It's it's always critical, but these are ones where it's extra critical that as soon as possible, kind of what the limits are, what you can do, and then also give you information so you can make decisions. And so they were, green light across the board, ready to go. The only thing they needed to do was sell their home, right?
Right.
Just sell your home first. It's fine.
Yeah.
And we have our anti-homelessness policy, right? That we tried to keep up. So
unhoused.
I don't know if you heard that, Jim or Johnny. Jim is meeting with them today. Today is the 4th of July.
It is.
It's a national holiday.
It is.
Everyone's celebrating.
It's kind of a big deal today.
Yeah. It's kind of a big deal.
They asked. Well,
I'm just saying. Look at
I abided.
The commitment.
I abided.
The commitment.
The dude abides.
The dude abides.
The dude abides. Right. So looking forward to meeting with them. It's been a few weeks. I can't wait to meet them in person. They love the plan that we create for our seller buyers, which is know your numbers. So we go to Mike, right? Figure out what they could do on the back end, what I call the next chapter of their life, and figure that out. And then when I meet with them, we figure out what they're going to sell their house for and create a budget
Get that
realistically.
seller net sheet.
Get the seller net sheet.
Yep.
And then once we do all that, we do the comps and find out realistically what we could sell it for, not pie in the sky when you're a seller buyer, but also not low. You want to be right in the market, not just on the market.
Right.
And then after that, we double check with Mike with the money that they'll have left over and make sure all those numbers work for the purchase that they want to do. And then at the same time, we're going to go and look for properties today online and see the type of property they want to buy and what the budget for that should be. And then if everything looks good, we go ahead and pull the trigger and we get going right away.
So, that.
Yep.
They're
already
connected to
in
the
the
app
app.
already.
Mhm.
Yep. They know their parameters. They're I would say not overqualified isn't the right word. They're well qualified, so they're going to have flexibility as far as where they land on payment.
Good. So they're
cash.
going to be aiming lower than what their max qualification is. I know that world.
It's kind of that perfect scenario where it's like I want. So my world is what's the max payment you qualify for, and then your world as the buyer, potential buyer, homeowner is like what's your budget, right?
What are you
Like
comfortable
what can
paying?
you afford? So
Yeah.
I don't tell you what you can afford. I tell you what you qualify for, and then you kind of hopefully have some idea of what's comfortable for you from a budget perspective. But I always want my number to be as high as possible, not because I want you to go crazy and get the gold plated whatever. I want you to be the one in charge of where you draw the line.
Right.
And so that's the case here. It's
Yes.
both from a cash perspective and from a qualifying payment perspective.
Beautiful.
So it's good.
And the other thing they're going to learn today is how to calculate tax portability and what the new tax bill will be, because that's always a huge thing.
Yep.
Can we count on no taxes?
Well, we're going to talk about that a little later today. We are going to talk about property taxes because the governor said something that I thought was kind of surprising. So I want to get everybody's take on that.
I saw that.
So I figured that would be something we could talk about today. And so anyway, everybody, thank you so much for working with us or going to work with us or thinking about working with us or just giving us a call and say, hey, Jim, I really don't want to sell my house. I don't want to deal with any of that. I want to buy a house. I just want to talk to Ross, right? I just want to see if I could get a better insurance quote.
Which people are doing all the time right now.
Yes.
Because they're having a lot of success dropping premiums.
Well, if you haven't, I don't know why you aren't.
I just heard
kinda
a
weird
story.
part.
A buddy of mine who uses Ross shopped it and saved $1,000.
Ka-ching.
That
in a
sounds
year.
very familiar
That's
to me.
1/500th of what we need right now. So where are we right now, Ross?
296.
$296,000 in savings to customers that just called and said, hey, I want to check my insurance policy, see if I can save some money. Now, Ross, how bare bones are these insurance policies to get that reduction?
They're not. They're apples to apples to their current coverage,
You're
or
da-
better,
You're darn
or
right.
better. We're
Now
because
you're talking.
the last couple months, the underwriting restriction, the rates have gotten better. Underwriting restrictions have gotten better, and so somebody who had limited water damage or only qualified for limited water damage up until very recently, we're able to give them full water damage and save them money.
I love that. That's what happened with me too. If you just want to save money by cutting your coverage, I think I can speak for Ross. It'd be like just do it through your company you have right now.
Yeah.
If you want to see if you can save money by having the same coverage and or better coverage, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. You need Ross Camaronets and his team. Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach.
So it's not apples to apples. It's apples to apples and caramel,
Mm,
right? Because he gives
Ooh,
you the
yeah,
caramel, right?
candied.
Right?
Candied apples.
What you
Huh?
want?
I-
Get your
I-
apples.
I guess I should do a
Or is it
shout out.
caramel?
You could do caramel or caramel.
Oh, sorry.
What do you
Sorry
say,
about
Jim?
that.
You probably say caramel.
A caramel. I'm a caramel guy.
Yeah.
But
Caramel.
I guess I should do a shout out
Me
to
too.
Eric.
Yeah.
Eric W.
To my dad.
Eric W.
We shout out to my dad
Yeah,
too.
give a shout
Shout
out.
out.
Why not? Hey,
Hey,
Eric.
Pop.
What's
hope
up,
you're listening.
Eric? Dad.
Eric's been going back and forth for weeks. I've been seeing the emails, but I haven't been reading them. I got to be honest with you because I was on vacation and stuff. But I found out Jake, I think, in Ross's office has just looked like Eric's ready to pull the trigger on a new insurance policy with Ross. So that's
Jake
really
with
great.
Brightway.
Yep, Jake
Nice.
with Brightway.
Not to be confused with Jake from State Farm. It's Jake from
Is there a
Brightway.
Jake from State Farm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy. Yeah. I forgot
Khakis.
about
We
that.
don't talk about him though.
Yeah. What do you?
We talk about
do
Jake
you-
from Brightway.
She sounds hideous.
Is Jake a copyright? Is he a copyright violation?
I'm sure. Yeah.
You're not allowed to call yourself Jake. So that's pretty
What
funny.
a gig that guy landed.
Yeah.
Right?
I think he was just like the very first commercial he did. He was they didn't have long-term plans, right? It just turned out that it was working.
Jake took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. He's hideous.
She sounds hideous.
She sounds hideous.
Let's see. It's 9:50. You know what? It's so crazy because ever since I hit my head, the time goes by way faster than I thought. I'm always like a half hour behind. I think what's 10 minutes is 30 minutes.
Huh.
Could be a
Yeah.
symptom of just
Like I thought it
age
was
in
just
general.
9:30 right now, and it was 9:46. I'm like, oh,
Huh.
so very wild. I'm not used to my time.
I wonder if you bumped it again, what would happen?
Yeah,
Oh,
like hit it
In
and
the front,
try to
though.
fix it. That's called a reboot. I need to reboot it.
we never talked about you bumping your head on the air, Jim. So you just
Yeah.
announced that to everyone.
Well, that's
Should
okay.
we get the backstory now?
Yeah, no, that's okay. We'll
No?
we'll pass on that for now.
Let's just say this: what happens in Vegas,
Stays in
Right.
Vegas.
Yes, Daisy Vegas.
including
That's
your
right.
memories.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
I know, right?
That's kind of probably well said, Jim.
It's like I woke up, I bumped my head, and then I had this weird scar like on my back, in
Yeah,
my liver
exactly.
area.
I
But-
woke up in an ice
Kidneys.
tub.
But I
in an
did.
ice
But I
tub.
did go get MRIs and everything. Everything's in place. So
Well, they did find I had a brain, contrary to popular opinion. That's the first thing Mike said. Did they find you have a brain?
No,
It's like that's the first thing. You said.
I'm never
You didn't
so
say that?
over the top. Yeah. No, you said, hey, I did.
CAT scan or whatever.
You said they did a scan,
Yeah.
and I said, did they find anything?
Oh,
I didn't say brain.
Oh,
I just
I
said, did they
figured-
find anything?
I figured that. Maybe I'm confusing it with the Wizard of Oz thing I watched when I
Oh
was
no,
out
I
there.
meant brain. I
Yeah.
definitely meant it.
yeah, it was
that way.
implied. It
I
just-
wasn't so like, I'm not in your face.
It's part of the
Pretty subtle.
comedy, right? You have to.
Well, let's go ahead and take a little break, and this is what we're going to do on the rest of the show. The first thing we're going to talk about is roofs and insurance. Okay, we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about some of the regulations that were changed about how insurance is covering roofs and the different options you have. We're also going to talk about Carlos.
Yeah.
Because Carlos, he's buying a house and the roof did not pass useful life, so we had to deal with the roof. But the sellers did not want to put the roof on. So how do you solve that problem? Carlos wants to buy the house, but he can't get insurance without a new roof. So how do you fix that problem? And how do you solve it for the seller? I was the buyer's agent in this case, but how do you help the seller not put the roof on and still have Carlos buy the house? So we're going to talk about those two things. It's all about insurance. Then we're going to switch over right away to property taxes. Governor Desantis made a kind of surprising announcement to me a couple of days ago about the November 3rd vote to eliminate property taxes.
He
We're gonna
called you
talk a little bit
specifically?
about that. Yeah, he talked to me. He gave me a call and goes, "Hey, Jim, this is what I think you should talk about on
Bring
your
this
show."
up.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that.
This is
and-
our journalism major over here. Also
Yeah.
putting that sentence together.
yeah, and then let me see, and then related to the property taxes, let me see. Oh, and we're going to start off, and I think this will be kind of interesting. Remember when I sent out a weekly email blast 2 weeks ago asking people what they think about the property tax elimination and whether they're going to vote for it or not? And we got a lot of feedback from that email.
Interesting.
So I thought it would be kind of interesting just to see what our listeners said about whether they're going to vote for it or not. I thought that would be kind of little interesting insight to see what people think. And let me tell you, it isn't one thing. It's all over the
All
place.
over the
So
place.
it's kind of interesting what people said. So we're going to do all of that and a little bit more when we get back.
Cool. We are live on this 4th of July, very celebratory day for our nation, and rightfully so. Of course, you're always welcome to join us toll free at 877-927-6969. Questions, comments, concerns, you want to join in the conversation at hand, don't be shy. But if you are a little bit more on the shy side, believe me, I understand. That's why you can go to floridatalkrealestate.com. On Facebook and YouTube, you can consume away. We live stream on a Saturday. You check out Ross.
Yes.
Plenty of reason to go to Florida Talk Real Estate
America.
on
America.
Facebook. America, baby. Live stream. If you're not joining us while we're live, you can always go back and revisit. We encourage you to and hit share and like, because you can absolutely change lives, including your very own, with the pros of floridatalkrealestate.com. Experts in their field. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, stuck with a home, you don't know what to do, tricky situations, anything that touches the world of real estate, we got professional guidance for you. A click away. floridatalkrealestate.com. Know it, use it, love it, share it. floridatalkrealestate.com. 4-minute break. Thanks for being with us every Saturday. 250, baby. Looking good, too. Still looking good.
Yep.
Maybe we should paint it a little bit, though, but still looking pretty good. 4 minute break. We're back at it. Thanks for being with us right here on Real Radio.
We'll be your friend. Follow us at Real Radio 92.1 on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl with CBS 12 News. The heat and the humidity are going to remain at the forefront of your 4th of July. We are expecting temperatures to climb into the upper 80s, low 90s. Showers and storms start to arrive around 1 p.m. They strengthen through the middle afternoon. They should push offshore by the overnight hours.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Trouble sleeping lately? Upgrade to the great sleep you deserve at Mattress Firm's July 4th sale. Choose from a curated selection of top brands and let their sleep experts help you narrow it down. They make sleep easy.
Hey, it's your boy Johnny C here, host of Florida Talk Real Estate. They're tops when it comes to helping people buy and sell houses. But Florida Talk Real Estate is so much more than that. For 5 years, I've watched these guys help thousands of our listeners with any real estate need. They couldn't do it without their sponsors, who are experts in their fields. Check it out. Jim DePola, powered by Keller Williams Realty. Their team specializes in helping people sell their house for top dollar, and buyers get great deals on the purchase of their home. That's what they did for me and my family, and I couldn't be happier that I hired them for my real estate transaction. Mike Rao from the mortgage firm is one of our favorite guests on the show, and he is the mortgage guy. Whether you're looking for a refi or a mortgage to purchase a new home, Mike Rao will get you the answers you need. The mortgage firm is licensed to do loans in Florida, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, and they have local offices that cover all of South Florida. So if you're thinking about a refi or a new mortgage, go to the mortgage guy, Mike Rao, and find out what he can do for you. The Mortgage Firm, Inc., NMLS 189233, Florida license MLD 78, equal housing lender. The law office of Paul A. Krasker has been specializing in real estate law for nearly 25 years and has the professional team you need. Upside down with your house, Paul's team can help you conduct short sales, loan modifications, even if you're behind on payments. They also help you with foreclosure defense and bankruptcy. They can even help you get a student loan modification and repair your credit to get the score you need. Paul's full-service team has helped thousands of our listeners, and they can help you too. Trident Title LLC is the largest privately owned title company in Florida. When you need a title company to complete a refi, home purchase, or sale, Trident Title has got you covered. Not only do they offer competitive pricing, Trident Title has attorneys on staff to make sure if you have bumps in the road declaring title that you can get the job done. Beware, not all title companies in Florida have attorneys on staff. Trident Title does and complies with all the new federal regulations released last year. Ross Camaronets, owner of Brightway Insurance, has been helping our listeners get great rates on homeowners insurance plans. Haven't checked your homeowner's insurance policy in a while? This is a great way to help reduce your monthly mortgage payment. Ross can also help with renters and auto insurance. Ross is only a phone call away and can usually get the answers you need same day.
Call Ross today at 561-425-6228 or drop by his office at 873 Donald Ross Road in Juno Beach.
So now you know why I'm happy to be part of the Florida Talk Real Estate Show, the longest running real estate show in Florida. And all these sponsors are just a phone call or a click away. Just call 888-973-7828. That's 888-973-7828. Or go to floridatalkrealestate.com. That's floridatalkrealestate.com. And don't forget to use the most accurate search engine to find your new home or ask for a free home valuation because floridatalkrealestate.com has you covered. That's floridatalkrealestate.com.
You're listening to Real Radio 92.1, and we are an iHeart radio station. Florida Talk Real Estate with Jim DePola and Johnny C. Got a question for the show? Call us live at 1-877-927-6969.
You're more than welcome. Dial in toll free 877-927-6969. Exactly an hour remaining on this 4th of July. America, get you some. Yes, we are live streaming as well on Facebook and YouTube. Florida Talk Real Estate on both. It's Florida Talk Real Estate LLC on YouTube there. But stream away. Thank you very much for being there. And if you're not, you can always consume later. Jimothy's our producer extraordinaire. What's up, my dude?
Hello, and good morning.
Good morning. Phone line's good today? We're good?
Absolutely,
Yep. You're welcome to join us. Oh, that one's good. That's the one I dial in on.
What is that noise?
There we go, yeah.
What is that? Johnny sees me. There's Mike Rao. He's the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Ross Camaronet's with Brightway Insurance, Juno Beach. He's right over there, too. Hi, Ross.
Happy birthday, America.
That's what I'm talking about. What'd you get her, by the way?
I got, what's it, $250. It is wood. So I got
You're giving her the wood.
I got a wood carving of the American flag,
Nice.
but the original 13 colonies.
Did you whittle it yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're amazing. Wow. Nothing like a personalized gift, you know?
Yeah. Well, she's been good to me.
Yeah, with the little history. And what
Yep.
made you want to do the 13 columns instead of
The TOG. It's the OG.
The OG.
The OG.
OG.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
you.
The OG.
So just throwback, you know?
I mean, to when the Declaration was declared,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
when the independence was declared.
You got to remember your past, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to live in the present.
Jim?
Yeah.
Speaking of remembering.
He's the one that described it to Ross as he was whittling it. Our fearless leader, 14 years now, running the top producing Keller Williams team, the Florida Home Pros team with Keller Williams Innovations. Jim DePola, how you be?
I'm doing good. Happy America today instead of happy South Florida. Happy South Florida too, but happy
Team
America. Yeah.
Jim, what did they have before they had
Yeah.
a dial tone? What was before that? Right?
They
'Cause
had
he played that.
operators.
A lot of kids these
They
days
had
don't know
operators.
what a dial tone is.
No, they had
right?
an operator who took the little cord out of the
Ah.
board and put the other
You'd
cord
be like, give me New
in
York.
the other board.
3,
Yeah,
4, 7,
exactly.
5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they talk funny like that. They sounded like
Yeah,
the Munchkins
see?
from Wizard of Oz or something. I want to get into a little bit about insurance because we know it's a really important thing that is an affordability issue for a lot of people when they're trying to buy something or just keep the place that they got. So a while, I don't remember how many months ago it was, Ross, but they loosened the regulations that were required, I think, by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, if I'm not mistaken, that they allowed you to have different type of insurance policy for your roof. And so instead of requiring full roof replacement, they did what's called ACV, which is actual cost value or something. Could you kind of explain it in layman's terms because to refresh everybody what's going on with that?
So, we kind of went through an insurance crisis with excessive litigation regarding roof claims.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that the insurance companies did for older roofs, instead of denying, saying, hey, that doesn't meet our underwriting guidelines, we're not going to insure you. What they would do is they would, offer coverage for the house. But if there was any sort of roof claim, they offered an actual cash value option, meaning that it's a depreciated schedule or a roof payment schedule. So depending on how old your roof is, you'd get a percentage of the roof's value. So if you had a 20-year-old roof, they might give you 25%, and you had a roof claim, and it costs $10,000 to put on a new roof, they might only give you $2,500.
Okay, but your insurance would be cheaper because of that, right?
Your insurance would be cheaper because technically you're getting, a lot less coverage. And the mortgage companies, when that kind of first came out, a lot of them were saying, whoa. This house isn't covered at replacement cost because the roof is covered at actual cash value. But I think it was like April 1st or somewhere around that in March or something. Fannie and Freddie said that they would accept actual cash value roofs.
Is that what you remember, Mike? That's how you saw
I
it?
don't remember it being on April 1st, but any announcement that comes out on April 1st,
You're like, yeah, right.
What was it?
especially something like that. I'll just so from a lending world, yeah, it does come down from, in this case, Fannie and Freddie, who are the essentially they create the underwriting guidelines for borrowers, for property, for appraisers, all of these kind of rules for lending. And I forget exactly when it was, but yeah, we always have minimum requirements for insurance, right? One of those requirements is that the home has to be insured at a level that it could be replaced, basically built from scratch, because the home is the security for the loan, and therefore the lender has an interest in making sure the home can be, it's going to exist in its existing condition, right? Or can continue in its existing condition. So we have rules for minimum insurance requirements. And this is one of those that they relaxed, I think, because of affordability and probably just pressure from insurance companies. We're like, listen, you're forcing us to do this, and it's not making economic sense for anybody. And so they allowed it now that you can insure the roof for less than full replacement cost. You can insure it for the depreciated or used value, ACV.
So, Ross, just from your perspective, from writing these policies all the time, who would be the person that would be most likely that the ACV would be better than full replacement value?
I mean, I don't think coverage-wise, ACV is ever going to be better than full replacement, but premium-wise, in an older house, in order to even get coverage, it might have to be covered at actual cash value in order just to even get coverage. And it will be cheaper because the insurance company's on the hook for a lot less money. So you're able to get coverage and it's cheaper. And then I think what, the flip side of that is, okay, I do put on a new roof. Now I have replacement cost coverage. My premium I put on a new roof, my premium should go down. But in reality, because now that roof is covered at replacement cost, which the insurance company's on the hook for more money should anything happen, that premium's actually slightly higher.
Or it could still be ACV technically, but the depreciated value is way
zero.
Higher.
Yeah. So I mean, like a lot of the times I've got a couple of companies that no matter the age of the roof, they require it to be actual cash value. But like the first 5 years, it's paid at 100%.
Yeah, that makes
right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then once it's over 5 years old, that's when it starts to drop off.
That makes sense. So with Carlos, he's buying a home in Port St. Lucie. I'm so happy for him. We're very close. We just got to wait for the appraisal, and it's the title clears. He's pretty much done. When we had the inspection, we knew the roof was 2006. It looked like diamonds were being made on the roof because all you saw was silver everywhere.
Oh boy.
It was very shiny because the granulation from the asphalt shingle was going away.
Is that a good thing? It sounds almost
no,
good.
It's not.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know.
Making diamonds.
Yeah, I know, right? So the sellers did not want to put the new roof on, and this happened to me with another seller and sellers in Royal Palm Beach recently too. They just did not want to deal with the roof at all, but they knew that it was going to be a problem to deal with that roof. So what we did for Carlos is that he definitely has to put the roof on in order to get the full insurance policy, but because we're working with the mortgage firm and Brightway Insurance, they put their heads together and figured out a plan. And we have done this a lot where they're able to buy the house with insurance with the old roof that would normally not be insurable, but then give them a timeline when to put the roof on. And if they hit that timeline, then everything's okay. So is that pretty much the way it works? And I think that the timeline for the insurance company might be different than the mortgage company's timeline.
So we're from the mortgage perspective, we're not going to be looking at the issue of the age of the roof and whether it's being replaced. The question for us is, can he get a policy in effect to get us through closing? And one of the options that Ross put together is like, yes, you can do that as long as you have your bid for the work lined up and you're going to have a certain amount of time. So you can get through closing and close on the home, put the new roof on, and then this policy can remain in effect, or even he can even shop
we'll rewrite it. Yeah. Once he puts a new roof on, we'll rewrite it to a better.
Right, shop it with a different insurance. So the main question that we had asked in the beginning, something you knew right away, was, can we close? right? Because there are ways where if you can't close for some reason, like let's say the roof wasn't just at the end of its life, but it was actively leaking, right? And that's a safety issue. And so you're not able to close with an active roof leak. We can do things like, okay, same process, put the roof on, get a bid for the work, sign the contract. It's going to be put on after closing. We do what's called an escrow holdback, but that is more of like a lending requirement versus just, is it insurable or not? So the goal with Ross, and it turns out it's going to work out perfectly, is yes, you can get a policy. Here's what needs to be in place for everything to work out on that. Which brings up a question for me, Ross, on ACV. Like, let's say you have a roof with 2 years of remaining useful life, so it's not worth much. Can I get an ACV policy on something like that?
It's really going to depend on the
carrier.
The carriers can, the carriers can, like, okay, hey, we can submit it, and they can come out and they can cancel it, and
so that would be like,
and that's kind of like that.
Plan D would be like,
well, that was kind of our plan B.
Our plan B,
right? Like because we had sent you kind of two options.
Oh yeah, it was very costly, that plan.
Yeah, that was
very costly.
Yeah.
So, so what would happen, Ross, if in that 30 days they couldn't get the final permit closeout on the roof and they were a week or two late because either the city was taking too long with the roof permits, or the roofer couldn't get the materials on time to put the roof on time within that 30 days? But
it could be bad. And Carlos might have to move back in with his parents.
Yeah. What would happen in that?
They could cancel it, but okay, hey, we go a couple days, hopefully, it's just not something that's taking 3 months for them to do, but if that does happen, okay, we got a couple days, no insurance. It's not gonna, as long as they don't burn their house down, it's not gonna be a problem. But, when I've seen that happen, we've gone past it. It's more been a non-renewal thing.
I remember one time where we actually had to have the permit pulled for one of our deals. This is a couple years back, where the permit had to be pulled before we closed. And so because the new owner didn't own the house, the seller had to pull the permit under their name. And then it was closed out under the buyer's name after they closed. Do you remember why we did that? That was with all us three, but I
forget. It's probably something where the timing it had to be done within 10 days or 15 days or something like that. So the only way to do that was to get the permitting started. I don't remember the exact circumstances, but that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So, so sellers, if you have a roof that needs to be replaced, don't fret. There are ways around it where you're not pulling that money out of your pocket before closing. Now, in this case, they did pay for the roof, the sellers. They are paying for the roof. What they did is they gave a credit to Carlos
for
to pay
X dollar amount.
For X amount to pay for the roof. So it isn't that you're getting out of the money for the roof. Like, you're still paying for it.
Right.
But you don't have the responsibility of putting the roof on, hiring the contractor, pulling the permits, all of that stuff. You're just cutting the check, basically. I'm saying that in quotes, air quotes, at closing, and letting the buyer deal with it on their end.
If there was a circumstance where, as a seller, putting on the new roof would allow you to not only get your return on that investment, but also maybe price it even higher, your broker has an option for something like that.
Yes,
right?
I was going to bring that up. So seller's edge. So if you need money to like put on a roof or do something really serious with your house, or not even so serious, we have a new program, thanks to Brett Caldwell, who was on our show about a month and a half ago, called Seller's Edge. And we just had our first customer get approved for that loan, Stefan, and he got $50,000 from Seller's Edge, which is
private equity.
It's a private equity company that gives you basically like a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, but you don't have to do a hard pull, and it's based on the home itself and the value of the home, not so much your credit score. Now, you do need to have a minimum credit score. This company, notable, that actually gives you the loan, they usually have a 680 credit score for this. But because anybody that works with Keller Williams, they drop it down to 640 because Keller Williams has a great track record of closing on the deal and there's not much risk to them. So Stefan got his money 12 hours after he applied for the loan. And he got X amount of dollars up front that he could use. And then later, as he needs to use more money, he can take it out. If he doesn't need any more money, he doesn't have to take it out. It's costing him less than 1% per month of the money that he uses. Average person, he has excellent credit. Average person who has okay credit, they're probably paying about 1% per month, but only for the money they use. So if you had the full $50,000 available, but you only spent 5,000 of it, you're only paying 1% of that 5,000, which is $50, right? $50 a month.
Where's the 1% come from? Are you saying it's like a 12% interest?
Yeah,
and so every month you're paying
the
112?
average person is paying about 12% annual, but it could be as low as $899 and as high as $1699. I think is somewhere in between there, depending on your credit.
So to do that, Johnny, if you're doing 12% like interest only payment, you take your principal balance, multiply times 12%, and then divide that by 12. And that's how you get your 1/12 or the 1%.
Yes.
1% number. So it's not that painful as far as costs go. It's short-term financing.
Mm-hmm. And
you would only do it if you're going to get return on investment.
Yeah. And if you close your house in 3 or 4 months, you're only paying, you're paying hundreds of dollars to get thousands of dollars that you need. That's going to bring up the price of your home. Now, here's the caveat. Me as your realtor. Okay. Don't take this money and go crazy on the house and make it what I call Super Mac Daddy. This is not the time to take this money and go, oh, I'm going to put a pool in my backyard or something crazy like that.
What percent can you allocate towards like going down to Hard Rock or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
Just a safe percent,
Exactly.
Or a bet, Johnny, you got to lock in what do you call it?
No such things.
What is it called though? What's the word?
Lock.
A lock.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That doesn't exist. No, the L word is
no existing.
No, sir.
Even on football.
We've seen it.
Soccer, I mean.
Yeah. No,
football.
We've seen it. No such thing.
All right. Sorry, Jim.
No, that's okay. That's okay. So for insurance, the other things I just want to talk because Ross hasn't been on so long.
Oh, one on the roof thing, just because we move off Carlos. He asked an interesting question, and it was prompted from the guy he was getting roof quotes from. The guy getting roof quotes said, hey, make sure, because he's looking at a metal or a shingle option. And the roofer said, hey, make sure if you do the metal that the insurance company isn't going to ding you for that. Or like maybe it's going to cost more. Or there's something about metal being more expensive than a shingle roof. Not to put it on, but to insure it. And I said, I haven't heard that. If anything, it's going to be better for you in the long run.
Yeah.
But let me run that by Ross.
Yeah, so is there a difference if you put composite shingle versus barrel tile versus metal?
Usually you're going to, so some carriers it's a small difference, $100, something like that. It's not a big difference, but you're going to get like a concrete flat tile is going to be better than like the barrel tile because barrel tile can chip. But a more permanent roofing, like a tile, metal versus shingle is going to be if they are going to give us any sort of premium difference, it's actually going to be a little bit better for those. However,
the replacement
cost for a tile roof or a metal roof is more. So that jacks up your dwelling coverage. So theoretically, yes, it could make it more expensive because the roof itself is more expensive. But as far as like a rating wise, no, typically there is no difference. There are some outliers where a carrier will give you a little bit of credit depending on what type of roof it is, but typically it just goes by age.
The other thing I told Carlos, and tell me if I was wrong about this, because he hasn't done anything yet. So if I'm wrong, I can tell him, hey, stop. But we don't know if there's a third nail on the strapping of the house because it wasn't in the report because they couldn't see anything. So I told him, if you're going to replace the whole roof, this is a good time to check on that. Could you explain about that whole third nail thing? And is it worth doing?
So the third nail, when we talk about the third nail, we're talking about the roof to wall connection on the wind mitigation report. And that's when we're going to talk about like strapping. People hear hurricane straps. There's basically, you've got a strap that comes out of the wall and doesn't wrap over the truss. It just comes out, and there's 3 nails attaching that wrap to the trusses. And then you've got your what they call a single wrap, where it comes out of the wall and it wraps over the truss, and you get 2 nails on the front side, and then there's 1 nail on the back side where it wraps over. But a lot of the times, people who are installing roofs, they get a little lazy, and sometimes they only put 2 nails in that metal connector, and you need 3 nails. And so when the wind mitigation inspector goes into the attic and he notices that those metal connectors only have 2 nails, then we don't get that credit. And it's generally a pretty good credit. So that's when you can hire another team to come in there and put that 3rd nail in there. And depending on the company, it could save quite a bit of money, where you do make up for it that first year. But sometimes I feel like nowadays it's kind of, maybe it takes like a year or 2 to make up for it, but it's definitely worth being done.
Yeah, I was thinking like 3 years you get your money back.
It depends on the carrier. 10 years ago, you used to get your money back right away, almost double your money back right away. But it seems like over the last probably 5 or so years, that hasn't, with a lot of carriers, it hasn't been that significant.
So the last thing I want to talk about that is the underlayment, because I was around during 1776, as you guys so politely remind me all the time. When I used to do roofs, and when I say do roofs, when I put my own roof on and everything, and I was up there with the air gun and the air nailer and putting on the felt and the tin tabs and all that. Back then, you pretty much only had felt, right? You put down the felt, 30-pound felt, I think it was called, or whatever, and then you put your tin tabs to hold that down, and then you put your shingles on top.
Sure.
But now they have that sticky based underlayment, and a lot of roofers charge extra for that secondary water underlayment barrier. Is it worth putting it on based on the extra cost of doing that?
I mean, it's like $100, between $100 and $200.
You save about $100 or $200.
Yeah, but it's also peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've got an extra layer of, between the elements and, your furniture on the inside. So, I would recommend getting it done anyway.
Yeah,
not just to save money on your insurance.
Yeah, Flex Seal.
Yeah, Flex Seal it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when the roofers are up there and they have the shingles torn off, just go up yourself and Flex Seal it.
Flex Seal.
Spray it on or paint it on?
Both.
Whatever, whichever you can get at Walgreens.
Yeah. And Ross said strap a bunch of times. It made me think, Jimothy, remember, strap on backwards is no parts.
Oh.
Always remember.
Oh,
what is it? Strap
No
on backwards
parts.
is no parts.
I can't get past strap on.
Backwards is no parts.
See, he never said strap on. He said
He
strapping.
said strap, but it made me think.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta
I know.
remind Jimothy, strap on backwards.
Well, Johnny knows me.
No parts.
Big fan.
Let's thank you, Ross, about all
Thank
that.
you, Ross.
And Ross has saved a lot of people money. And if you have any questions and you're thinking about putting the roof on and you're not sure, what add-ons you should do or what type of roof you should do, give us a call. We'll get you over to Ross and he'll give you free advice of what, the pros and cons of different types of roofs and stuff like that are for you and to save you money. And it's just one phone call, one email away. Just go to floridatalkrealestate.com, fill out a contact form, call us at the 888 number.
888-973-7828.
Oh, is that the number?
That's it.
So just thank you, Johnny. And just give us a call. We'll give you the advice that you need. That's what we're all about. Hey, now I want to switch over to something else that's a really big announcement, Mike, and I forgot to mention this at the top. Hometown Heroes is back.
That's right.
It's coming back, July 13th, right?
Yeah, officially. Well, I guess it's not official. That's the latest announcement is it's opening the books on the 13th.
And I heard that they're actually funding it for the full 50.
Well, it's not. It's 50 million.
Right.
So it's the same, basically the same thing they did this.
Oh, I thought they
previous
did
year.
30 year. I thought they did 30 million.
No,
this year.
remember it was 100.
Right.
And then this past year they cut that in half to 50, which also they cut back the professions to basically your hero professions, which was it's okay. It was kind of the origin of the program in the first place. And so even though they funded less money because they cut that back to professions, that money actually lasted 9 months.
Yes.
Right. We were doing, I think I did a hero lock up until maybe April of this year. So it lasted as long, which I guess, I was a little upset when they first announced that because we had people lined up because it was for all first time home buyers.
Right.
But yeah, they're doing 50 million again. Now's the time. But you don't have to. There may be other reasons you're rushing to buy this year, not so much for Hometown Heroes. So I think Hometown Heroes, the money's going to last, right? So you don't need to hurry up and get in July, August, September. You're probably going to be fine. But
these are teachers, government workers, first line defense, firefighters, police,
all of those.
Even daycare,
Hospital.
And administrative too, right?
So yeah,
fields?
kind of the daycare and daycare employees fall into the educator category. So you know what? Don't quote me on that because I need to verify.
When I Googled it, it said daycare and I was surprised, but I wasn't sure. So
yeah, and it might be something where if you have a license versus just an employee at a daycare, so maybe you have to be have some sort of licensing. But I'll look at that. We need to flesh that out because it's coming now. Like you can even get in you can't reserve it right now, but I think this upcoming week you'll be able to reserve your spot. But and it's still the best DPA program around.
It is.
Yeah, so that's down payment assistance. So this is 5% up to 5% of the loan value.
Loan amount.
Yep. Not the purchase price. So you take the purchase price, subtract your down payment, and then you times it by 5%, and that's the maximum amount that you can get.
Up to $35,000. That's the max.
Up to $35,000. And with this program, the money is not a grant, but it is a silent, basically second mortgage behind your original loan amount, and it doesn't increase. You're not charged any interest on it, and if you keep that for 20 years and you got a $20,000 down payment assistance, 20 years later, all you got to do is give $20,000 back and you're paid in full for that program. It's a really good program. We've used it for tons and tons of people on this show.
And you pay it back when refi or selling, is it?
So, yeah, I got to come up with a better way of explaining this. So there's two conditions that the loan is paid back. Number one, when the first loan is paid back in full, that's when you pay back this silent second. Or if you move out of the house but retain it as an investment property. So it's no longer your homestead, you don't live there, then that silent second becomes repayable. So under the first category of when is the first loan paid off, that's paid off under a variety of conditions. One of them would be selling the home.
Yep.
One of them would be refinancing the home. Or one of them would be paying it off over the 30-year term.
Yep.
Maybe you run into money, you got a 15-year plan, but whenever it's paid off in full, that's when it's due back. But it's zero interest and there's no payment. So I tell people, Johnny, it's like, hey, I'm going to give you, like for closing, I'm going to give you a bag of money. Just hang on to it for me. Don't spend it.
Yep.
I want it back.
Yeah.
Right?
Use it for your needs right now.
Let's say it's $20,000. That's $20,000 that you do not have to bring to the closing.
That's right.
To the party. So it keeps that money. Either you don't have it or you have it and you get to keep it in the bank. Do whatever, furniture, moving.
And I'm glad you bring that up because if somebody's like, well, I have the money, I don't need that. Wouldn't you rather use somebody else's money without a penalty? You're not paying interest on it. It's keep your cash. I'm just thinking out loud, perspective wise.
That's a very good question. If you don't need it, should you use it? I would talk to people about that and say, well, what's most important? So if we're talking about a lot of money, and you have a lot of money, maybe it's not so critical. If money is tight otherwise, let's say it's like $10,000, right? So post closing, would you rather have $10,000 in your bank account? You're a brand new homeowner. You got to move. You probably got to furnish. It's just nice to have a little cushion, plus a little bit of maybe it's a nest egg, maybe it's a security cushion. So when it's that dollar amount, I think it's easy to say well, listen, that's going to be much more important in your bank account than it is as equity position in the home or having this second that you're going to have to think about or deal with down the line.
Agreed.
But yeah, it's definitely a good question to be asked and to be considered.
Well, the conversations you have when you work with pros like Mike Ralph, the mortgage guy from the mortgage firm. Remember FloridaTalkRealEstate.com when you're looking for pros, experts in their field. You get them all at FloridaTalkRealEstate.com.
And one more thing on Hometown Heroes, it has always been either at or better than market interest rates. So that's another reason where you might think, hey, should I do here? I don't need the money. Should I do Heroes or not? But if it's a quarter point better on the rate, then you can get on the market, something like that. That might be the difference.
Oh, so when you do Hometown Heroes, it improves your interest rate?
It's just their rate on Hometown Heroes program has traditionally been lower than what you could get on the open market, or certainly lower than the other DPA programs. So the rates are really attractive under Hometown Heroes.
Great.
Intentionally,
Yeah.
right? Because we're talking this is for the heroes.
There's a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an intent.
There's I'm kind of switching gears here. We've been talking about savings and helping people buy houses and everything. You know what they should do? You know what Fannie and Freddie should do?
Give them a house.
No, they should. I'm totally switching gears here. They should take away the requirement that you have to put minimum 20 to 25% down on condos. It used to not be like that before the original Great Recession crash, right, Mike? You could put down a lower down payment on condos just like a regular home, but they stopped doing that because of how many houses went into foreclosure. A big chunk of them were condos. But we haven't had a foreclosure crisis in a very, very long time. And
you can do low down payment on condos.
No, very tough.
So
on a handful compared to all the condos out there.
This is changing, but there has been two different review processes. There's a full review and a limited review. So maybe the premise is when you're buying a house, you need a loan, you have to qualify for the loan, right? So as the borrower, you have to qualify. When you're buying a condo, not only do you have to qualify as a borrower, the condo project itself has qualification requirements. Right. So you have to kind of like underwrite the condo project in addition to underwriting the borrowers. And there were two ways of doing that. Like I call it the easy way and the hard way. If you had 25% down or more, it's the easy way. We essentially don't have to look. The requirements on the condo are less.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be properly insured, but you're not doing like a financial analysis to kind of like underwrite the financial health of the condo. So that's the easy way. And if you did 25% down or more, that's what you did, right? It was almost slam dunk. You buy any condo. If you're doing something less than 25% down in Florida, so anywhere from 3% down to 24.99%, you were doing it the hard way, what we call the full review. The full review is we're looking at the budget, we're looking at the balance sheet, we're looking at the condo questionnaire with like 50 questions on it. So you could always do that, but that just meant your options are going to be limited because not every condo is going to pass the review.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. They don't do that with HOAs.
They don't do that with HOAs.
So why? So that's what I'm trying to say, because the foreclosure rate's been so long. It's been 10 years since we had a real foreclosure problem.
Well,
that they're okay with HOAs that way, but not condos. And I just feel like that would really help out for affordability down here.
They weren't listening
to you. It would be huge
Jim,
affordability
because they're moving the opposite direction.
So what's happening?
Here's what's happening.
I didn't even know
condos.
that. I just brought it up. Okay.
So starting in August,
right?
There's no more limited review. I mean, there's no more full review exemption. There's no more limited review, right? So the hard way, we have to do it every time.
It's the only way.
So we're looking at the budget, we're looking at the financials, the reserves, we're looking at their insurance, like all of this stuff.
Is that a Fannie Mae Freddie Mac thing?
That's right. So it's Fannie Freddie making it harder. Now here's the other thing they're doing, Jim.
Thank you, government, making everything affordable.
Just when they're like you think it's good news. The bane of the condos, one of them has been the reserve position. So reserves, when we talk about condos, means let's say they're bringing in $1 million a year of assessments, like the homeowners are paying $1 million a year towards the condo association. You have to be budgeting 10% of that number towards reserve budget items. So these are for like long-term capital expenses, which you need them, right? These are buildings that have to be maintained. We got into a lot of trouble, the condos, because they weren't maintaining their buildings. They didn't do these reserves. So they didn't have funding to fix structural issues with concrete or do their 40-year inspection, all that, right? So Fannie and Freddie have said, listen, if you're not doing 10% reserves, we're not going to do your loan. We're not going to finance in that building. So they have increased that requirement from 10% to 15%.
But they don't do that with the HOA.
So this is only for condos.
Right.
This is only for condos. So they have made it so that there's no limited review. So there's no more easy way. And they've increased the reserve requirement from 10% to 15%. Now, the good news is the amount of condos that, because I look at them all the time, right? I got people buying condos all the time because they're kind of affordable, right? It's also lifestyle. I mean, this is Florida, so there's a lot of condos. Many of the condos have been forced to come into compliance, and when they budget their reserves properly for the long-term capital expenses they have, it's typically more than that 15% threshold, right? So when they're doing it right and kind of like funding what they're supposed to fund, we're getting that 15% pretty across the board.
It's going to motivate a lot of people that live in these mismanaged buildings and associations to be like, all right, we need to right the ship, because we live in a condo association that I'll never be able to sell here. Nobody's gonna ever be able to buy here.
And if you don't, if your board doesn't do this the right way, not only could you potentially has problems in the when the S hits the fan in the neighborhood or storms come through, whatever it is. But the marketability of your condo, the resale, it's going to make it difficult because you can only sell to cash buyers essentially. Or there is a whole world of what we call non-warrantable condos. Non-warrantable means it doesn't meet those Fannie Freddie guidelines, but there's lenders who will do it anyway. And these are like your alternative income, non-conforming loan types. Those ones require big down payments though. So if you want to do low down payment, you just need to be buying in a condo project that has their, ducks in a row. They got their S together.
I don't have a problem.
Can I say that, Timothy?
I don't have
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with the state regulations saying you have to have the right reserves and make sure that you're keeping the community. I think all that's great. And I've been saying that once everybody comes into compliance, we're going to see that condos become more affordable. But the reason why they increased the down payment
because it got burned.
Got burned, but it was so long ago.
True.
And we haven't had a problem in so long with that issue, talking about like people foreclosing because they can't afford the condo. So I just feel like they need to give a break on that. I don't have a problem with the regulations.
It could be because they made it so that they're like, hey, you prove that you have the skin in the game and you're not gonna burn us. It could be an effect of their tighter regulation.
But there were tons of. I'm playing devil's advocate here with you, obviously. Yeah, and you're playing devil's advocate. The homeowners, like regular homeowners that had homes, there were tons of foreclosures at that, and they didn't get penalized the same way that condo communities were penalized.
Yeah, I think to Johnny's point, so it's like, hey, they put some regulations in place, and those regulations are working. Look, you see the benefit. Nobody's foreclosing, and that's because of those regulations. And then Jim's like, yeah, but that had nothing to do with it. It's just the market. Now they're getting penalized extra just because they're condos, just because they got burned in the past. These regulations have not helped. They've just been a byproduct of, the market. I don't know. I could see both. You can't both play devil's advocate though. You need the devil's advocate, and then what are you, the Lord's advocate or something?
Right, yes. The saints side,
right? The saints advocate. Nice.
I wanna switch over to
another switch.
Yeah, we're going to switch over to property taxes. Okay, the elimination of property taxes. Governor Desantis this week, just to give a little overview of it, Governor.
This is his baby.
Well, Florida legislature were trying to come up with plans to eliminate or reduce property taxes.
He wants one last kiss to the state of the nation.
Yeah, and
the state of Florida. Yes.
They kept coming up with plans, and Governor DeSantis didn't like it. So what happened was he ordered that they have a special session, and they came up with a plan, and it was signed, and now it's going to go to vote on November 3rd and it'll become part of the Constitution if it gets voted in.
And the language on the vote, the amendment, I guess, right, has already been finalized.
I don't think it's been finalized and approved. Yeah, so that has to be approved too before it gets on the ballot.
Okay.
Yeah, and the concept is they're going to raise the homestead exemption from the $50,000 max if you're homesteaded up to $150,000 next year, 2027, and then in 2028 they're going to raise it to $250,000, and that will make 62% of the homeowners not have to pay their ad valorem taxes. You're still paying for the schools and stuff like that, the non-ad valorem, but
I think it's just the schools. That's the only, in the text that I read. It's like because they were talking about like not funding or not taking away funding from police, fire, and schools. But the only language I saw in the stuff that I was reading was schools. It didn't say anything about those vital services.
I read that the police were included in there too, that they couldn't go scale back on the police either. But, libraries, parks, other city services, that's all on the, chopping block or potential chopping block, depending on the community. So what was surprising to me now that they passed this to go to vote, Governor DeSantis says, this isn't what I would put together. This isn't my bill. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I mean, he's really done arm's length on it. Now, he said that he didn't even say that he would vote for it. If you read his language on the interview he had, he was very, needle in the eye or thread in the eye of the needle.
He's riding the fence is what he's doing.
He really is.
Yeah.
And
this is exactly what he wanted, but he's riding the fence right now. So therefore, if the repercussions are terrible, he can go, told you it's not what I would.
It was the legislature.
He's totally on the fence, and it's like, all right,
I really feel like that.
Lean into it. They did it all for you. They played ball the way you wanted it played, and now you're gonna ride the fence. You don't get to do that, dude. We know they lined it up exactly the way you said. That's why the special session was in place.
I agree with you.
Before the budget was laid out.
Who's going to come out and say that?
Well, nobody. I will.
Yeah. You did just now. Johnny's like, I just said it.
And I was just really, really surprised to see that. And then related to that,
lean into it. If this is what you want, lean into it.
I mean, I think the case is going to the case can't just be, hey, we're getting rid of property taxes. That's not going to be sufficient. It's attractive, it's enticing, but the other side of that argument is going to be making waves, right? Saying like, hey, here's the negative, the things you haven't thought about, or
here's the concessions.
Here's what we foresee.
Yeah.
Somebody has to come out and say, hey, no, they're wrong about that. Here's why it's other than just, hey, no taxes. Number one, it's not no taxes. It's definitely reduced taxes.
Yes.
But what are you giving up for those reduced taxes? I don't know.
There's a former state senator, Jeff Brandes, who's against all this, and he's speaking out pretty hard. And he said there are scenarios where people will pay more taxes under this provision because counties and cities will shift to non-ad valorem. Instead of getting one bill with all the services, everything's going to be broken out individually.
See, doesn't that all have to be approved through the state, though? The way this is laid out, if you're going to be doing any of that locally, it has to be approved through the state. They're passing all the power up to the state through this.
Or you just privatize it. Like right now, you pay your non-ad valorem. So one perfect example is the trash and disposal, right? If you have that, you're going to see that. If you don't have an individual account with a waste collection company, it's being done through your municipal services.
A majority of us.
And you're going to see that on your non-ad valorem bill. So let's say you got your landscaping, tree trimming, sprinkler maintenance, those items, road maintenance. Like you just privatize that. You switch it down to like, hey, we're hiring a company now to do all our landscape. And you're going to see that down in the non-ad valorem section.
That's what they're thinking. They're thinking it's going to be like a la carte added on to your non-ad valorem, and that you might be paying more than you were before.
Or they do something with the millage rates, which somebody introduced. We talked about last week. Somebody introduced something to, maybe it was Desantis even saying, hey, I'm going to put caps on millage rate.
DeSantis has two bills out there. One of them is putting a cap on the millage rates and saying that if you're going to raise the millage rate, you have to have 4/5 of the commission voting on it in order to get it approved. And if you can't get 4/5, it has to go to a vote with the residents to make sure that they're okay with the tax increase. I don't have any problem with having a closer look at where all the money's being spent. I have no problem with that.
Oh, that should happen regardless.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? There's going to be a big pop in. There's going to be a big pop in code enforcement. You watch.
Oh, and I think traffic fines.
Well,
they're going to set up those AI cameras like crazy.
Well, that's what I've been saying. You see the cameras popping up. You see where the revenue streams planned. You want to save money? Get rid of all these flock cameras. Get rid of all that stuff. Like it's just excess. We don't need the surveillance big brother world that we live in. But it's a revenue stream. So
I wanted to ask a question because we actually have been through this in Florida before, because when they introduced the original Save Our Homes homestead exemption, the existing system that's in place, like there was something else before that, right? Like there wasn't this $50,000 exemption. And I don't forget what it
They
was.
started out
sometime in
at
the 80s, right?
25. They started at 20. Well, the homestead exemption, they started at 25 and they raised it to 50.
What did they have in place before that? Why did they introduce it and call it Save Our Homes? Because property taxes were going crazy, right? And so people were like, hey, for homesteaded properties, we need to put, so they've done this before. I think it was in the 80s sometime.
I think the 80s is when they started the homestead exemption.
So what did they do before that?
I don't think they had anything.
So they just had property taxes that were just going up and down with the system. And when they put the homestead in place, I'm sure the argument was, hey, we're going to lose a lot of revenue. What are we going to do? So what happened then?
Right. Our values went up. And then that
so they made up
tides
well,
lifts all boats.
You have to know how much it increased year over year to see if they lost revenue. Because remember, homesteading only caps it at 3%. If it was only going up 2% every year, homesteading didn't change any of that.
So, but my point was there was a situation before where they were saying, hey, we need to reduce property taxes, and they did it. And what was the implication on the local budgets and everything? Like, what did people do with that?
See, that's where we do have a caller, so just hold on one second. But that's where I kind of agree with DeSantis. He has a stat, if it's legit, that between 2019 and today, the taxable revenues collected have doubled.
It's almost triple.
Oh, I thought it was double.
Almost. I mean,
almost triple. Yeah.
The counties that I've looked up, it's double.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And we're not getting that much more
no,
services.
And we didn't have that many people come in, even during the COVID thing. It wasn't like we had a tremendous increase. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like, it isn't like our state went from 20 million to 40 million people.
No.
Right. So we have all this extra money.
It needs to be fixed.
Right. Yeah.
Where have the budget hawks been then? Because I need to hear from them to say, hey, listen, we've actually been overspending instead of saving this money. We've been overspending.
Now.
It hasn't been an issue until now. We're trying to get this done. Now the highlighting of the issues.
I agree with Johnny. It's happening now. The budget hawks are coming out now saying, we've told you, we've been complaining about this a long time. Now we're going to try to do. Now we're going to do something. And it's like, you've had plenty of money for a long time. Sharpen your pencils, reduce your costs. We're forcing you. And the only
a lot of people say, how come you didn't go this vigorously at trying to help us with our insurance for our property, as a state?
The thing is,
like, well, we did. We had citizens.
Yeah, we have citizens. And what can you do about insurance? That's a private industry.
Some states lean in pretty hard on the private industry.
Do they, Ross?
I mean, I only pay attention to what we do here.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so I just feel like that's more of a private industry thing, and that they have to take on the risk. And when we have big hurricanes and stuff, it's their risk.
It's true.
And we do try to control, and we have that Department of Insurance to control how much they're increasing, because they would like to increase it. They have in the past like to increase it a lot more, and we were kind of throttling them back and using citizens. But this is taxpayer money. Insurance is like you're choosing to buy something and getting insurance, or having to get a loan. But the taxes, that's everybody's money that's paying into it. And I just feel like it's been out of control.
Only homeowners.
For a very long time.
Only homeowners.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Homeowners. Well, the person that owns the home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that scares me too, not scares me, but I shouldn't say scare at all, but that they're reducing commercial and non-homesteaded properties from a 10% cap to a 5% cap. So they're really curtailing local government tremendously, because they're putting this effect to give
and they're doing this while framing like, hey, this is about, you're never going to own your home. You're always going to rent your home. But here, we're going to cut all this tax money from these businesses. And I understand like that, that mentality still exists. The trickle down economics of it all. And one day we'll shift hard to be like, nah, y'all are carrying the burden.
Yeah.
That's with we work for you.
And there's a little bit of like, once, let's say that that it passes and they do all this stuff. And then if you realize like, wait a second, this was a bad idea. We need more money in government, in our local governments for funding, whatever. What are they going to do?
Right.
You can never reopen the property tax.
They just
box.
find some other way
to do it.
Take it out of
right.
us.
So if you think Like if you are on the, I hate saying it, but the waste, fraud, abuse, if like that's your position, you love this, right? Because you're basically going to force them to cut back and like stop their spending. But if you're kind of a pragmatist and a realist about what happens with government spending, like you just know they're going to get it somewhere else.
It's coming out of our pockets.
And it's going to be spread out across everybody instead of like right now there's a burden placed on homeowners, technically renters too, because renters will fund the renters are going to be the ones who are going to get hurt because the investment properties, well, I guess they're helping a little bit, but the renters are going to pick up that slack for these investment properties. So yeah, it's a tough one. I think there needs to be a lot more dialogue about it. I would love to see the final draft or the final language that's going in there. I think there's it's also not clear about this whole 5-year thing. Like I've read it. So if you've established your residency in Florida this year, you're okay. But then does it mean that you have to have a home, on January 1st, 2027, or do you just have to be a Florida resident? I think it's ambiguous still, like what that rule is.
And as Johnny knows, because of the industry he's been in, and when they passed the medical marijuana bill, what the bill said that the voters voted for, then the legislators went back and then tweaked everything afterwards. So you really do, even if you're voting for it, you're just voting for the concept.
Yeah, voting for them to put their hands on it.
And then
that's the way it should be. The legislators have to legislate. The lawmakers have to morph law. I mean, you just do. You're allowed to drink, but you're not allowed to have an open container walking down the street. You can't drink and drive. Like they had to put the laws in place.
Whoa, you can't drink and drive anymore?
You can't do what?
You can smoke your cigarette, but you can't smoke it here, there. Same with cannabis. And that was the fear mongering when they were trying to get recreational. Oh, you're going to smoke everywhere. It's like, well, no, because they're going to put laws in place where you can and can't do this.
That's true. They passed a law when I was a reporter in the 90s where you're not allowed to smoke in parks.
You can't
smoke cigarettes in
like,
parks. That's what I meant.
You can't smoke in schools back when Jim, they passed that law, right?
But
kindergarten teacher.
They'll do the same for this. They'll morph it a little bit more to what's going to be, applicable for their needs.
Yeah.
I don't know what the real underlying desire is here. It can't just be to save us money. I mean, I call me a cynic if you want.
You are a cynic.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
So
that's not the motivation.
Here are some of the listeners that when I send out that weekly email, and if you want to be part of the weekly email and you're not getting it, and if you're not getting it, it might be in your junk. So look in your junk. I send it out every Monday. But if you want it, you're not part of the weekly email, just let me know. Send me a text, call me. Send me an email. I'll put you on the list for sure. And if I already see that I have your email and you're not getting it, then I'm going to call you and tell you got to check your junk because I'm sure it's in there. But let me just go over a couple of people. Yeah.
Actually, we've got about 4 more minutes here, buddy.
Twice, Jimmy.
Let's just get an idea of what some of the listeners said. And some of them are very short answers, but it just kind of gives you a flavor. Rick said, I support the issue. Lee said, I'm sure it'll help. I'm sure it'll definitely help lower my escrow, but he didn't say if he would vote for it or not. He just said it would help his escrow payment. Deborah said flat out, no. She just says, I'm not voting for it. No, not happening. Doug says, so think about it this way. Call me crazy if you want, but considering I just purchased a new home, Doug and Stephanie just bought a new home with us. Imagine not having that tax bill to contend with. That money saved will either be put back into the economy via purchases or dropped into investments. It's a massive win for the economy either way. I think it's a fantastic idea and an incentive for more people to purchase as opposed to rent. Just my 2 cents, right? So that, thank you, Doug, and thank everybody for responding on this.
It definitely would, that money saved would go right into the economy. He is not wrong about that. That doesn't go into savings accounts.
I think
we're going to spend it.
Oh yeah,
I
think that's 3-1 so far on those listeners. But to Doug's, like one thing I think he said there is, this is the thing that has to get communicated. It's not eliminating your property taxes altogether. You're still going to have a property tax bill, and from the things that I saw. If you have an existing homesteaded property, Johnny, like you have one, I have one, like our bill is probably going to be cut in half. Probably cut in half. And I think that's probably a good metric for like what now Doug, he just bought, his taxes are pretty much going to be as high, except I think they had portability.
No, Oh, maybe I know.
I forget how long.
Missed
Yeah,
it.
maybe
He missed
outside
it.
of that.
Yeah.
So his going to be on the higher side, and his might
Mhm.
get cut like more than in half. And
Sure.
so there's going to be a segment out there that are like that, and there's people who have had a homestead forever, and their tax bill's going to stay close to what it is now because they're already just
'cause
like
they're-
really exempt.
Yes.
Very,
That's-
very low exemption. But it's not eliminating property taxes. And as a
Um,
matter of fact, they haven't addressed one of my major issues with property taxes, that if you can't pay and you can't pay for 3 years in a row, you're liable to lose your house to the property tax auction.
Right.
And to
foreclosure.
me, that is something they need to fix, especially if you're on, say, fixed income and you've been just priced out and you just can't afford.
or you're
like,
disabled, right? Or
you own your
yeah.
home, you don't have a mortgage, maybe you've cut out even insurance because you can't afford to insure it. And this last thing, property taxes, you just can't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, they're going to make you homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a problem with that.
Something's got to be fixed there.
Bryce sent a very long email about this. I can't get into it so long, but I'm just going to give you some high points. He goes, I was listening to the show the other day when you were discussing this topic. My opinion is 100% we need to eliminate or make a better way for homeowners property tax. This state has so much extra money from taxes. It's crazy. I hear the people crying that's going to affect education and such. But as you alluded to on your show, it does not touch those things. I like the idea that it is for the homesteaded homeowners, but I think if you own other homes in the state and you can homestead only one, then you should be getting some kind of break on those other homes as well, right? So that's his opinion.
So he's saying if you're a Florida resident and you own multiple homes, there should be some benefit versus, say, somebody out of state or a company owning it.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he's making all the right points too on that side of things, which is like we've collected way too much money. We're blowing through that. Just kind of like to your point to Doug, was like, well, if you got it, you're going to spend it. I think everyone can identify with that. Like, what we need to do is force, if we have so much extra revenue, like where is it?
Yeah.
Other than at the state level, because I think
little accountability and some good accounting.
Yeah.
We may be in a totally different place and have surplus and be able to utilize it to take care of people, and people might feel differently about it. Or we may be, a position where people feel like really gung-ho about, let's eliminate these taxes when we can, because look at what we can do. Again, like you say, the numbers just haven't really been laid out for everybody. There's nothing to really chew on.
Yeah,
and
we don't
consume.
have enough information.
You have to fill
yet.
in way too many blanks on your own.
Roger just said, thank God we live in the country of Florida. Laugh out loud. I love it about the tax idea. Anita, who's an appraiser, she said, in caps, all caps, absolutely not, meaning voting for this. I think I will have to move from Florida. So, we have it all over the place, a lot of different opinions because we don't know enough, like I said. And I just think it's kind of interesting. So we're going to keep tabs on this as it goes through just to see what happens as we approach closer to November.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens from there.
I love that we're going to have an opportunity to really address this though as a state, and I hope we can all get like real facts, real information to consume for those that will, and have a reliable source that maybe shares their breakdown of that. Again, there's going to be a lot of misinformation and a lot of desire to get you on one side or the other, money spent on it. But man, if we can just get the real root of it, the crust, the meat.
we're going to do what Desantis is doing, right? We're going to ride the fence on the show as we're talking about it, right?
Yeah,
like we'll look at it from on high to talk about both sides.
Because both sides, really, you can see so much for both sides.
Mhm.
Absolutely, you can. But there's negatives to both sides,
Mhm.
and you got to weigh it all out. But we got to have all the information.
I mean, it's an important issue within yourself. You have conflicting thoughts about it.
Yeah, when you go yes, and then you're like, oh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, but this.
but I don't know. Yeah, it's we need a ton more. Hey, happy 4th, y'all. Please be safe. If you have 10 digits on your hands right now, let's keep it that way.
Please.
If you don't, it's just
Yes.
9, 8, 7, 6. Like, just keep it the way it looks right now. Try to keep it that way through the weekend if you can. That'd be
And mainly, like, think about yourself, but if you have other people around, maybe keep an eye out on them as well,
please.
especially if they're younger.
Yeah, and if they're over consuming, look out for them a little extra. That's gonna be hot. Stay hydrated. I'm not gonna preach to you, but come on, take care of yourselves and each other, please.
How do you know if you've overconsumed?
Somebody should be able to is that a little too much? She's needs some water. Mike, have a great weekend. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th, everybody. Thank you.
Mortgage Firm, of course. That's the mortgage guy from the Mortgage Firm. Of course, Ross Camaronets with Brightwood Insurance, Juno Beach. I hope you have a great 4th of July.
I hope you do too. Start icing your coolers and heating your grills. It's going to be a great day.
Let's go. And there's our fearless leader, Jimmy D. Jim DePolo with the Florida Home Pros team, Keller Williams Innovation. I know you're working today, but enjoy your 4th as best
I'm
you
going to
can.
enjoy it. I will enjoy it. I'll see you in a little bit, Victor and Tiffany.
Timothy,
Happy South Florida, everybody.
You're the man.
You guys as well. Happy 4th.
Have a great 4th, buddy. Thanks for everything always.
Thank you.
Con Greek into showing up. I'm like, dude, I'm there. Let's do this. So we're going to squeeze out a little 4th of July sports for you.
Wow.
Yeah, probably leave a little stain. Get it all over your face. Thanks for being with us. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Enjoy the celebration. And remember, we are one nation. So let's act like it today. Tomorrow we can get back at it. All right. You know what I'm saying? Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Today, let's just, let's celebrate. Thank you, Timothy. We'll be back next Saturday, Florida Talk Real Estate. Always remember, FloridaTalkRealEstate.com. Your one-stop real estate shop. Access to the entire team. Pros. When you need them, they're there for you. Enjoy your 4th. Locker Room's next on Real Radio.